Hey all, we are Hannah and Jeremy with the Savory Suitcase. This week we check off another Florida bucket list item for us, snorkeling at the Devil's Den, and then a visit to the Cedar Lakes Woods and Garden. The Devil's Den is a prehistoric spring located in Williston, Florida, less than a 2-hour drive north of Tampa.
Reservations are required, and the spring is open to both scuba divers and snorkelers. Gear is available to rent for anybody that's snorkeling. You can also bring your own snorkeling gear as well and just pay the spring admission fee, but you are required to have a full set with a mask, a snorkel, and fins, and they will also rent you by the individual piece, which is something to keep in mind and may save you a little bit of money. We have our own masks, but we didn't think to bring them since we thought you had to rent the entire set.
Down the ramp to the right, your entrance is straight ahead. It says Devil's Den. Before you enter, make sure to leave anything you are not swimming with, like shoes, shirts, bags. There is also a rock ledge that extends around the den. We just ask that you do not sit, stand, touch on that rock ledge since it is very fragile.
They have picnic benches set up so that you can set your stuff down while you go into the spring, as there is nowhere to set items down while you're in the cave. No flotation devices are allowed in the spring, so you will not be able to bring in a pool noodle or any floaties. So this spring is probably best for people who are quite strong swimmers. The before.
The entrance is a one-way staircase, and the scuba divers have right of way coming out of the cave since they're carrying so much gear and things can get pretty hectic on a busy day like when we were there, but there was somebody at the entrance helping to direct traffic. The water in the spring stays a constant 72 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. On the colder days, the air in the cave mixes with the cold air outside and can create a steam that can be seen rising up from the opening of the sinkhole. The earlier settlers who came here saw this phenomenon and named this the Devil's Den. The name has stuck ever since.
The maximum depth of the cave reaches 54 feet with the surface diameter of 120 feet. There are 4 underwater passages extending from the main room. The passages have been the site of discovery of animal and human fossils and artifacts. Some of the animal remains that were found are from extinct species from the area, including mastodons, ground sloths, dire wolves, bog lemmings, Florida speckled bears, and saber-toothed cats, all aged to about 13,000 years old. These fossils are now on display at the University of Florida's Museum of Natural History. We are very proud of having accomplished this. Sometimes new things can make us anxious, especially physical things that we don't always know how to prepare best for. So this is the face of two people who are very excited about their accomplishment.
Less than a half mile from Devil's Den, you'll find the Cedar Lakes Woods and Gardens. Admission to the garden is $12 and dogs are also welcome. The garden is a century-old abandoned limestone quarry transformed into a 20-acre botanical garden over a period of 35 years, opening to the public in 2014. The garden is home to both native and non-native Florida plants, including the flame lichens, more commonly known as algae. This reddish-orange covering is found on much of the rockwork around the park and adds color far beyond the traditional plants and flowers. The main quarry area is reinforced with cement to help maintain its current shape and the walkways and structures now on the property. But the water levels are still dependent on the rainwater and how water flows through the limestone, rising and falling based on rainfall miles and miles away.
you are lucky, you may see birds of prey, owls, doves, songbirds, butterflies, turtles, frogs, and other wildlife along the trail. The garden is also home to some domesticated animals, including quite a few cats, 2 swans named Guinevere and Olivia, several ducks, pheasants, a goose, a squirrel named Delilah, a rose-breasted cockatoo named Rosie, numerous koi fish, and a 100-pound blue catfish named Big Ben.
Thanks for watching this week's Florida bucket list trip. We'll put a playlist at the end of the video with all of our Florida day trips that we've done, so be sure to check that out to pick your next adventure.
If you liked this video, give it a quick like, consider subscribing to our channel, and we will see you next time.